have any money and you want to study abroad, watch this video from the start till the end, because that is what we are going to be covering today. How are you going to move abroad or study abroad despite affordability issues? What are you going to do? What are the pathways, and how can you make your way? The first thing that you do is you can apply for scholarships. So here you have different types of scholarships. This is like pretty known: Chevening, Commonwealth, MEX, Erasmus. Yes, there are all of these scholarships, but what I'm going to say is that if you sign into my database, one of the things that I always advise students to do is do not, unless otherwise, you can try applying for this very famous scholarships, but do not stick to applying for these very famous scholarships, because guess what? They take the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. So it is extremely competitive. Everybody is applying for it. They have a huge number of applicants, and then they have to take just a very, very few people. For example, when I applied for the MEX Japanese government scholarship, it was just 2 of us that were selected in my entire country. So just imagine how many thousand students apply, and then they select the top 2 people. That is something that you're already going against the tides. Like, it is going to be hard. So my advice when you get into the database is, you see those scholarships that you have never heard their names, you don't see them on posts everywhere, many people are not talking about them. Those are the scholarships to apply for. Those are the scholarships to apply for because there is less competition for those scholarships. They are not the prestigious ones. They don't sing about it everywhere. But guess what? Those scholarships are going to pay your tuition. So if you do not have a lot of money, sign into the database, but focus on those scholarships that people do not know about. That is how you're going to get your studies paid for. All right, you guys, I am just going to take a minute here to tell you all about my database. My database is here. It has everything that you need in order to study abroad, move abroad, everything from start to finish to help you do your applications. So definitely go ahead, sign up for the database, get up every day, log in 1 or 2 hours, choose a scholarship or choose a graduate assistantship, choose whatever you're eligible for. Use the CV samples to write yours, use the SOP samples to write yours, work on it. In case it gets difficult, use ChatGPT to ask it questions, and then you submit. That was my formula that I used to get 4 fully funded scholarships. And if you do it exactly as I'm telling you, by the end of this year or early next year, you are going to get your own scholarship. The link is in the description box. Click on it, get into focus, work, and good luck. Okay, let us look at strategy number 2, which is the proof of funds. I've done a separate video on proof of funds to different parts of the world, how much you need, what you should know. If you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch it, because it is going to a high extent help you to sort of navigate and figure out, where does my money, because yes, the money is important. The money goes a long way, and embassies want to see it before granting you visas. But also, how much do you need where, right? So here we just have like a little snapshot of it. Australia, you have about 29,000 Australian dollars. New Zealand about 20,000, UK 13,000, Germany 11,000, Germany 11,000, UK. Oh, this is outside of London, 10,000, Ireland 10,000. So this is like broad strokes on the things that you need, but at the same time, watch that video to be sure on the details about all of it. So let's look at hacking the proof of funds, because the thing is, all of these countries want to see that you can pay for your studies, right? You can pay for your studies. They don't want you to come into their country and then the first thing you're doing your first week is your job hunting. Because if you don't get a job to make some money, you're going to be sleeping on the streets. They want to make sure that you can take care of yourself, at least for the first 1 year that you are living in their country. Normally, you have Germany, of course, the blocked account. The mechanism, you have to deposit 11,904 euro into a provider, and then the bank releases the amount. This is like almost 1,000 euro monthly to your local account. That is how it works, right? So what you can actually also do is you can have a sponsorship form. So here you can use the form INZ 1014. A relative or friend guarantees your cost using their bank statements and pay slips. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? So if you have a relative or you have someone that has constant source of income, can prove like income history, you can use their bank statements to sort of provide for or to show as proof of where you're going to be getting your funding for your study program. Okay, and then you have the education bond. What you can do here is lodge 10,000 euro to an approved payment service to prove funds without a standard bank statement. This, if you all have done this before, let me know in the comment section. I am not very familiar with how this works. I do not know like what is the process, what are the steps on which students do this. But if you've done it before, let me know in the comment section so we can sort of share that information and shed more light on how this happens. Now let us look at certain things for students from certain parts of the world like India, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Philippines, and Vietnam. They have this thing where they say they have this funds transfer scheme, and it's run by ANZ Bank. It is recommended to prove genuine access to funds and speed up processing for high-risk regions. So the funds must originate from an approved bank account. Loans from local cooperatives are frequently rejected, and then there's a strict scrutiny on the source of the funds. Sale of property or gold requires watertight documentation. So I think what they are trying to do here in this particular part of the world is have some sort of idea on where this money is coming from, the processes on how you can leverage that money for your studies is very standard, and you have to follow those standards. If not, it is going to be rejected. For example, because like people in these countries actually own gold and things like that, so probably people have gold as, when it's time for me to go study, I'm going to sell my gold and go study. But it's like there are steps that you have to follow in order to prove that you can sort of use that gold to pay for your studies. Okay, so you'll be aware of that and make sure you follow the right procedures. Then you have strategy number 3, the work first route. And here we're talking about Germany. So here you bypass tuition and you go in as a skilled worker. I have done a video here about the talent that is needed in different parts of the world and what are the various majors that they are looking for, what are the specialties that they are looking for. If you haven't watched that video for young people, if you haven't watched that video, go and watch it, because it's going to give you an idea on where is searching for what, and that can inform your study major, because you're studying that particular thing. Long-term thinking, like I know that there is a shortage of health workers, so I'm going to study something related to nursing, because when I'm done, I know that I will have a pathway in order to sort of get my like post-work opportunities or whatever. But here they are talking about going in with those skills, or so if you already have it, you can go in with those skills. The salary threshold is lowered to 45,000 for occupations. You have IT, nursing, engineering, and then enter Germany before your degree is fully recognized, and then you can work immediately. For IT specialists, no university degree is required if you have 3 years of work experience. And then they have the point-based system. For example, A1 German language plus age plus skills, you can be able to make it. So if you do not have enough money, this is another strategy that you can use in order to move abroad for limited money. So we spoke about scholarships, and then we spoke about how you can bypass the proof of funds using like a relative to sort of cushion that money for you. And then now we are talking about going through the jobbing route. So those are some of the things that you can think about if you do not have enough money. If you have any questions about this, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm going to try to do as much research as possible and answer your questions. So let's look at another work route here. This is the UK and New Zealand. This is for the UK. They are looking for health and care workers, so they have this visa, and you get exempted from immigration health surcharge, which is like a regular thing that you have to do in the UK. And in New Zealand, they have a path to residency, and you as long as you have a job from an accredited employer within their country, then you can go through that route. And then the next strategy that you can use if you do not have enough money to afford studying abroad or moving abroad is the family strategy. In the UK, they have banned dependents for bachelor's and master's students. Only PhDs and research people are allowed. But for those PhDs and research people, if you are a family member or yes of someone who is a PhD, you will not pay. You can actually move. And then you have in Australia, they have the caution process, like allowed, but it's expensive. You have to pay like partner cost, child cost, school fees. Those are the expenses that you have to overcome. But given that this video is about how to go cheaply, I don't think that Australia is a very good idea. Then let's look at Germany. Germany family reunification eased for skilled workers. Sufficient living space requirement waived in specific cases, which means that if you see United Kingdom, there are problems. There's a ban, outright ban. Australia, it's not that bad, but you need a lot of money. But this video is to teach you about those that do not have enough money. So maybe Australia is not a very good idea. But Germany, you see it here now being extremely accommodative to like people who have let's say have family there, and it makes your process way easier. So earning while learning, that is true, but you have to have arrived the country already, right? You have like work rights. I've actually done a video on how much you can earn where as an international student. What are the if you want to make a ton of money in terms of hours of work and how much is the minimum wage, go ahead and watch that video, because it tells you to a great extent how much you can be making in what country and how to think about strategic choosing of study destinations if you need extra help. That video will be very important for those people, because that extra money that you make is what is going to help you put together some money, maybe for your tuition or for life after you're done with your studies, right? And then let's look at an execution timeline. January to March, you are in stage 1. You research, you identify the green list jobs, shortage. Watch that video. Just watch that video. It will tell you everything you need to do. And then stage 2, scholarships. Get the database. The database it's updated every week. It has a ton of scholarships. Apply, apply, apply. I always say that was my strategy. The more I apply, the luckier I got. So go ahead and apply. Use all of the resources there. Use a sample CV to write yours, a sample SOP to write yours. If it gets hard, use ChatGPT, ask it questions, let it help you, but do not stop. Keep applying. And then, of course, if you're going to pay money, finances, you have to figure out the finances on your stage 3. Stage 4, then you now begin your applications and you are good to go. So now let us bring it all together. So we have Germany, they have the high skills and low cash. Good idea. Okay. High academics, low cash, MEX, Erasmus, Chevening. Family support, New Zealand, Germany. Funds in family account, New Zealand sponsored, and then the Germany blocked account. So those are the ways that you can use in order to move abroad, study abroad, live abroad. If you do not have a lot of finances, these are the ways that you can maneuver in order to sort of cushion yourself financially and make it through. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that was helpful. If it was, please do well to like the video, share it with a friend, a brother, a sister, an auntie, an uncle, anyone in your church, anyone in your community, in your social media, anyone that you think that this is going to help. Please do well to share it with them. And also let me know in the comment section, was this helpful? Please do well to subscribe. Consider subscribing here. I'm going to see you all in the next one. Peace.